Remembrance Day is about honoring our veterans and the huge sacrifices they made, which allow us to live here in Canada in peace with all the freedoms that we enjoy today. Joining us in studio, we are lucky enough to have one of those Canadian veterans, Gordon Precious, who served with the Royal Canadian Air Force during World War II. Gordon, thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure.
All right, so I want to ask you about your story. Tell us more about serving in World War II. How old were you when you joined, and what got you involved in the war effort? How did that all begin?
Well, I was in my teens when the war sadly broke out. When I became 19 years of age, I volunteered to join the military, and since I had, ever since I was a teenager, had been interested in being a pilot, and so I joined the RCAF, the Royal Canadian Air Force, in 1943. My first station in the RCAF was right in at the exhibition place in Toronto. They had barracks there with, I don't know how many thousand of us recruits were there. And then from there, I was sent to Lachine, Quebec, which is just outside of Montreal. And I had a few months of training there. I will always recall every morning we'd awaken to bugle calls through the barracks, and would all jump out and get our clothes on and get out on what we called the tarmac.
You were 19 years old.
Yeah.
And you're now 100 years old, which is incredible. What have you learned when you look back at your time during World War II? How has that shaped you? How has that impacted you as a person? Going
back even farther to the 1914-1918 war, everybody my age and my parents hoped that that was the end of wars, and how wrong, unfortunately, we were. It was certainly sad to see another war come by, and as I say, halfway through the war, I joined the Air Force and became a pilot, and I went to a training school near London, Ontario, and I recall there were 196 of us in the course. It was a one-year course, and at the end of the course, 196 of us graduated, and out of the 196, I was extremely proud to been one of only 4 who received a commission from the Queen, whereas I was ranked a commissioned officer.
So when you look back at your time during World War II, did you learn any lessons from your time serving that you think can be applied to present day?
Well, I have in the meantime become a pacifist. I appreciate the education that I was given during the war, but I'm certainly opposed, and I love my fellow man. It doesn't matter what color, race, religion he is. I truly have a great respect for all mankind, and I think it's just pitiful that there's this fighting going on.
So Gordon, on Remembrance Day, so many of us, we mark it in different ways. You're a veteran. What does Remembrance Day mean to you? How do you mark Remembrance Day? What's the significance of it for you?
Well, just thank goodness that that war is over, and my whole wish is for there to be peace throughout the world, for us to respect all of our fellow world citizens. And it's so important for all of us to respect and love our fellow man, woman, and child. That's about all. I think it's just a shame that there's fighting going on. Mm-hmm. I can't comprehend how man can be so stupid in that regard as to disrespect his brother man. So let's all put our hand on the shoulder of our fellow travelers and care for each other as much as we can.
Very wise words. Gordon, thank you so much for joining us today, for sharing your story, and thank you for your service.
Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
And that was Gordon Precious joining us. He served in World War II in the Royal Canadian Air Force.